Emotional eating or stress eating is pretty common for a lot of people. We've all done it in some way, shape, or form. We turn to food for comfort. However, it's one of the most damaging things you can do to your weight loss progress because we don't really stress eat unhealthy food. You don't normally hear people say they eat cauliflower when they're in emotional distress. No, we usually turn to our comfort food, whether that's donuts, chips, cookies, crackers, candy, crushing a tub of ice cream in one sitting, or a combination of all those things. So today, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 simple but extremely effective techniques on how to stop emotional eating, or at the very least, how to deal with it better. And make sure to stick around until the end because my last tip might just change your life. These are the exact same tips that I give to all my students, and they've all gone to see some amazing results. So you know it works. Before we get started, don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell to get notified every time I post a new video every week. It really helps support my channel. All right, let's get into it. Okay, let's quickly address what causes emotional eating to begin with. And by the way, I'm going to interchange stress eating, emotional eating, comfort eating, because they all basically mean the same thing. And if you can stop it in its tracks before it even happens, then you're absolutely winning. We can just cut the cord right there. Because it's not really helpful to just tell someone to just stop stress eating when they're in emotional distress. That's like telling a drowning person to just drown less and swim more. Or telling someone who's living in poverty that they just need to make more money than they're spending. They just have a money imbalance. It's not very helpful. It's too big of a blanket statement. So what actually causes emotional eating? First, we need to look at it from a physiological standpoint. Whenever you're emotionally stressed, it triggers a cortisol response, which is one of your 4 counter-regulatory hormones. Your fight or flight response gets triggered and your body gets flooded with glucose, so you can use it as immediate fuel to fight or flight. This physiological response to stress is the same. Whether you're getting chased by a dog, or you're going for your daily 30-minute run, or your daily spin class, you're stressed out of your mind at work, or you're in a stressful relationship. Your body treats all types of stress the same way. Cortisol gets triggered. Are you with me so far? But it's not safe for your body to have really high blood glucose levels as a byproduct of this cortisol response. It's toxic. If you have a way to burn it off, like exercise, great. But if you're emotionally stressed, it's a different story. As a result, your body has to secrete insulin, the storing hormone, to store all the extra glucose that your body can't burn off as fat. And it specifically stores it around your belly. Unfortunately, along with that blood glucose spike also comes a subsequent blood sugar crash. And your body perceives this blood sugar crash as a threat, and it doesn't want to go into a state of hypoglycemia. And in comes those insatiable cravings for highly palatable and ultra-processed sugary foods to bring your blood glucose levels back up, and then the cycle starts again. So as you can see, it's not really your fault that you can't help but eat your trigger foods when you're stressed. Your body is actually designed to look for them. So now that we know that elevated cortisol levels is directly tied to emotional eating from a physiological standpoint, we're going to focus our strategy around moderating that cortisol response. And we're going to come at it from different angles. I'm going to give you a multifaceted approach because, as always, there are levels. First, you need to take care of hunger. This is a very important concept that you need to understand because it's literally the secret to weight loss. Weight loss, in its very essence, isn't about counting calories, it's about controlling hunger. So if you can take care of hunger, you're winning. And I talk about this a lot on my channel, but if you're always eating a highly satiating meal that's nutrient dense, meaning it contains healthy fats, animal protein, and vegetables, then that's automatically going to activate your satiety hormones and turn off your hunger hormones. You're going to have a very moderate blood glucose response from that meal. You won't have that blood glucose and insulin roller coaster ride. Remember, it's when that huge spike and that subsequent dip that trigger emotional eating. It's when you're at a low, literally. Plus, when you prevent that blood glucose crash, it can also prevent that cortisol spike from happening to begin with. It's a vicious cycle because when you're about to go into a state of hypoglycemia, your body will naturally start to produce more cortisol to raise your blood glucose levels to prevent you from passing out. And again, people who produce more cortisol are more likely to stress eat. So stabilizing your blood glucose levels by having a satiating meal and turning off those hunger hormones will help prevent potential stress eating. Or even if you do stress eat, you won't eat as much because you're already stuffed. Now, what about when you're already stressed and you can't get ahead of preventing that cortisol spike to begin with? This is where our multifaceted approach comes into play. An unbelievably effective way to reduce stress and emotional eating is just by going outside. I wish everyone did this more often. We would have a completely different conversation about this topic. Go outside for at least a 15-minute walk. The more, the better. You get bonus points if you do a walk somewhere close to nature, like a park, a trail, or a body of water. Studies constantly show that walking boosts endorphins, which are your happy hormones. It also reduces stress and alleviates depression for free. Being in nature also helps reduce stress, anxiety, and depression because it most likely has to do with the Earth's healing negative ions. The less stressed, anxious, and depressed you are, the less likely you are to stress eat. Plus, I have literally never met anyone who didn't feel better after going for a walk in nature. It's just part of our DNA as human beings. That's why movement is medicine. And again, it's free. And from a practical standpoint, if you're studying or you're working on something that demands a high level of concentration, it's actually so much more beneficial to take short breaks and go for a quick walk when you're stressed because you'll always come back feeling mentally refreshed. Whenever I'm having a hard time focusing when I'm working, that's usually my cue to go for a quick walk. Guys, by the way, if you're listening to this on iTunes, feel free to leave us a review if you're enjoying this. It'll mean the world to me because it's gonna help me reach more people. So thank you so much for doing that. And if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit that like button to tell the algorithm that this video is awesome. Next, let's quickly address your surroundings. This is extremely important when it comes to figuring out how to stop stress eating because you are a product of your environment. First, you want to do a purge and get rid of all your trigger foods at home. This one's pretty simple because whenever you're stressed and your trigger foods just happens to be within your arm's reach, guess what you're gonna eat? And we're lazy by design as human beings. We evolved to conserve our energy so we can use it when we have to, like hunting. Use this designed laziness to your advantage. Don't stock trigger foods at home. All you're really doing here is you're creating a barrier between you and your impulse. Because sometimes the fact that you have to put pants on, drive through traffic, or go for a walk to the store, pick up the ice cream, wait in line, and then have to drive back to your house is usually enough to deter you from having it to begin with. And hey, if you really want it and you make it there back and forth, that's fine. Next, take yourself out of stressful situations. I am always blown away by people staying in crappy relationships, staying in jobs they hate, or hang out with friends that treat them badly. And people justify it for reasons unknown. Plain and simple, all those things stress you out and cause you to stress eat. You have so much more power than you think because most of the time you're in control, whether you willingly put yourself in those situations to begin with. A simple change you can do is unfollow people that make you feel bad on social media. Better yet, go on a social media diet. It'll change your life. If your current relationship is stressing you out and it causes you to stress eat, leave. It's not the right relationship. If your friends make you feel bad, you need new friends. You need to know your worth. Here's one of the biggest takeaways in this video. Nothing is worth it if it makes you unhappy. I don't really know a lot of people who make good food decisions when they always feel bad. Number 5, get some sleep. I talk about the importance of sleep a lot on my channel, as well as the consequences of chronic sleep deprivation, because this is literally everything. It all starts and ends here. Because not getting adequate and quality sleep, which is 7 hours minimum, moves every health metric in the wrong direction. You need to protect your sleep at all costs. Lack of sleep, for example, messes up important hormones like ghrelin, which is your hunger hormone. It also affects leptin, which is the hormone that signals your body that you're full. You also get elevated cortisol levels because your body is freaking out that it didn't get enough time to rest and repair itself. Even one night of bad sleep raises cortisol by 100%. Lack of sleep also affects the amygdala, which is the reward center of your brain. All those things combined results in emotional eating. I don't really know a lot of people who make good food decisions when they're sleep deprived. Next, bonus tip, and I actually saved the best for last. This might be the most powerful strategy on how to stop emotional eating. It could even potentially change your life. It's that powerful. Stay with me here. Think of your mind as a bright blue sky, and then think of your thoughts as cute, fluffy clouds. It doesn't bother you, right? Like we see clouds and we just let it pass. But sometimes there's a lot more clouds in the sky. You're a little stressed. Sometimes there's even a storm. This is when everything goes wrong in your life, which usually results in emotional eating. It's kind of a coping mechanism. And sometimes we get so caught up that we forget about the blue sky altogether, but it's still there. Think about when you're on a plane and you're flying through the clouds. It's always there, without fail. Blue skies. It's easy to forget that what we're looking for when we're stressed is already there. And that's why we need reminding, because you are the blue sky. Okay, let's do a quick exercise because this is instantly gonna lower your stress levels, I promise. I want you to take a nice deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth. You instantly feel better, right? That feeling gets magnified when you sit down and practice mindfulness. I used to be too cool for school when it comes to this stuff. Man, I was so wrong. I wish I started practicing mindfulness sooner. It's so simple, yet so effective. And the best part is it's free. All you need is to find a quiet spot in your house, close your eyes, and just focus on your breathing. That's it. And your mind will naturally wander when you do it. It's most likely gonna think about whatever is stressing you out. And that's the point of it, because the thoughts will come up like the clouds, and you can just let it go. You just come back to your breath and be in the moment. Remember, you're the blue sky. We can be so busy sometimes, and it's so easy to get caught up that we forget to do the one thing that's essential to life. Just breathe. I highly recommend that you use a free guided meditation app to make this a lot easier to get started with. I personally use an app called Headspace, or you can even just look up a guided meditation on YouTube. This practice has been a complete game changer when it comes to managing my stress levels. That's why I never miss it. I do it first thing in the morning for 10 minutes, and it's changed my life. And it might just change yours. The next question then becomes, how are you actually supposed to eat if you want to lose weight? Because here's the thing, 80% of your body composition is determined by your diet. You can't just freestyle this part. Do you have a proven plan that you can follow? To help you with that, I want to give you a free copy of my Lean Body Blueprint. This is how I was finally able to get rid of all my unwanted body fat without depriving myself of my favorite foods or spending countless hours at the gym. It's a simple 4-step process specifically designed for busy professionals, and it's the exact same blueprint that I teach to all my students, and they've all gone to see some amazing results. If you want to be the next success story, then download your free copy of the Lean Body Blueprint right now. There's going to be a link somewhere at the top here or in the description box. Just click on it, type in your email, and I'll send it to you right away. Hey, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and share it with your friends. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post a new video every week, and feel free to leave a comment below if you have any questions about this video. Alright, I'll see you in the next one. Virtual high five.